Today, we will be reviewing the QuantCore GT Expert Advisor from the creator of the CoreXG Expert Advisor, Mr. Arseny Potyekin. Stick around to the end to see if this is a major improvement over his previous EA or just another scam bot. This video is sponsored by Prosperity Algo and our free Golden Time Bomb Expert Advisor. Do you want to make 100+% annual returns through automating the London breakout and the opening range breakout? Then click the link in the description. So the CoreXG was a bit of a controversial bot as it heavily leaned on AI but didn't really speak to how it was actually implementing it. This bot is a bit more interesting because the developer has now given us a lot more ways to see how it actually uses AI. And I'm really curious as to if this is just another marketing play or if maybe he's actually implemented it in this particular bot. So let's dive into the sales page to see if we can get a bit more information. Similar to his previous bots, this one trades gold on the H1 timeframe. And once again, he's really heavily leaning on ChatGPT. And he says that he's combining GPT models, including the new O1 model and GPT 4.5, to really have a two-prong strategy here. Prong one is more like image analysis. So effectively, ChatGPT can do this, and if you're curious, you can test it out yourself. You can effectively take a screenshot of a chart and give it to ChatGPT and ask it to perform basic technical analysis pattern recognition. And then the bot or the AI can then go in and see like, hey, a flag pattern is forming perhaps, or a head and shoulders, and it can really use the basic technical analysis rather well. The one big question on my mind, though, is yes, obviously, these LLMs, which have so much data and so much information, can do a really good job at regurgitating basic technical analysis. But whether or not they're able to effectively use that to actually have a statistical edge at predicting price could be a little bit more of a question to ask. And it's a bit challenging to backtest some of these LLMs. So being able to see if it actually provides a statistical edge in predicting price, that's still a bit questionable in my opinion, but could definitely work, particularly like as LLMs become more specialized. There are some like Finbert, which are specifically trained for financial data, and perhaps those could be quite accurate here. But at least it's a fairly cool concept, and perhaps there is some statistical edge here. Just some more testing might be required. Something else which is quite neat, and what I think one of the best applications for LLMs and AI in general for trading is more the analysis of text-based and qualitative information sources. So this can be such as looking for sentiment analysis, news, to be able to effectively see how the market is trending. And that can be a really useful filter in developing trading strategies, which is quite interesting. So here effectively saying he's combining both more text information as well as chart-based information together in order to make a more powerful trading strategy. And then he's also name dropping a bunch of other AIs here like CNNs, RNNs, LSTMs to say that this is kind of informing his trading edge. All of which I'm a little bit more questionable about because he doesn't necessarily speak to the details behind it. But we can flip through a few of these pages here. We can see exceptional returns, turning a few bucks into like hundreds of millions of dollars, which definitely looks very legitimate. Yes, turning $1,000. I was being sarcastic, by the way. Apologies if I should clarify that. It definitely does not look legitimate. So here he's turning $1,000 into $350 million. That's obviously ridiculous, right? Like nobody is making a bot which can do that. And that really kind of calls into questions the rest of his claims. Like, yes, he is saying that you can use ChatGPT. He's even going into detail. If we go into the setup guide here, where he says like, hey, this is how you would actually set up ChatGPT. Like you need to get an API key. Let me pull it here. Like you would need, here comes the API key from OpenAI. He also says that you have to authorize the ChatGPT URL, all of which are good signs. But because he's making such insane claims in his backtests, I am a little bit skeptical that everything else here is just for show. Because like, yes, he is going a little bit beyond what he previously did with CoreXG. I think because he saw the success of the Mean Machine and how people were able to, like, if you show a bit more transparency, people are more likely to trust you. So I would venture that's probably what he's doing here. It could very well be that he is actually using API calls to ChatGPT, but he's not giving a tremendous amount of additional information here. One thing which is quite promising though to see is that he is saying you need an API key, and perhaps he is helping some of his users get that API key and giving a bit more information. And if you have some more information there, I'd love to hear from you. Perhaps he is actually using it here, but once again, because if somebody makes such ridiculous claims with their backtests, everything else is a bit more skeptical. So we can now hop into MetaTrader, where I've taken the liberty of downloading the EA and running a backtest. And there does appear to be a real strategy here, because we are seeing that he is also using a few indicators such as the RSI and the stochastic. There are some time filters here which you can turn on. There is a place where you can put in your API key for ChatGPT. So there's also some recovery and some grid mechanisms here. So there is a real strategy here. It doesn't appear to be a pure scam. But obviously, like, if you look at this here, it's turning $10,000 into 117 or $1.13 million. Okay, yeah, and with 100% win rate, yeah, okay, never mind. This is definitely a scam. Like, the backtest at least is a scam. Maybe when it's running live, he is doing he is toggling on a different strategy. Perhaps it is using indicators. Perhaps it is using ChatGPT. But the backtest is completely fake, right? Like, nobody can get those kinds of ridiculous returns. It appears to be using a fairly simple mean reversion strategy. Like here we're seeing it's kind of pushing away and coming back down on the H1. Here as well, perhaps it's kind of when the trend starts to turn, it's going long. It appears to be duplicating some orders. Some of these look like maybe grid-like to me. Let me scroll back to see. Pardon me. Maybe there's something here. It doesn't trade overly frequently either. It's only trading 179 times. Okay, so it's not even necessarily a grid. It's just kind of averaging into positions. Let me see if maybe we can actually glean what type of strategy it's running. Perhaps more of like a range breakout as well in some areas, some basic indicators. But realistically, the takeaway here is the backtest is obviously fake. And let's run a visual backtest now to see if maybe we can get some more information from it. And yeah, AI call, GPT Turbo. And it's his classic, like, very beautiful looking visuals to make it look fancier. Yeah, so there's a candle back, but there's no particular actual looking for any sort of indicator or whatnot. Okay, so maybe kind of my takeaways here, the backtest is clearly fake, so I wouldn't necessarily buy this bot, because also if we go to the live signal here, we can see that there's so few trades, it doesn't really give us anything statistically significant. At the same time, he's using WellTrade, which is a very famous scam broker. At the same time, this developer has put out some questionable bots in the past. The one positive is that he's now putting an API key there, so at least we're able to maybe be using ChatGPT, but I would be a bit skeptical. However, if somebody is getting different results, tell me, because you should be able to see if it's making web requests. Quite often, if you're actually using web requests, you'll have it print in the experts tab to be able to see if it's actually working. That's what the Mean Machine does. All of my API-based bots do the same thing when, for instance, our longbow bots. So for now, I would stay away, but at least there appears to be progress over CoreXG. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. Have yourselves a great day.